Hi, everybody. It's me, Colette Baron-Reid, and Debbie Frank, and we're here to do the Oracle reading for the Astro Oracle reading for November. Oh my goodness, what a month we have!
Huge.
It's huge. It's huge.
Huge.
But I do want to start before we dive into this. So I had a reading with Debbie. Oh my God, I forgot how accurate you are, Debbie. I mean, holy moly. It was so on point, unbelievable. And I think, are you open for readings now? Can we tell people that
I am open because I know lots of people want to know what's happening for next year. So
yes. Line up, you guys. Honest to God, seriously, it was so good. So it's Debbie at DebbieFrankAstrology.com, correct?
Yeah. DebbieFrankAstrology.com. There's a contact form.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Yay. So what I want to do is just give you a quick overview about November. I've already done that, but I'm just going to pull one particular card that from my Guides of the Hidden Realms book, this one. And we're going to, So the theme for the Astro Oracle reading is surrender to the change, right? So this is making total sense because November, there's going to be right? Very appropriate. Big changes everywhere. And a need for us to practice our own resilience. Change is occurring regardless of our desire or need for things to stay the same or to get what we want, right? And we know that there's a lot of polarity in the world at the moment, but hey, it's just part of this incredible, wonderful number of changes that some people won't think are so great, but actually in the end, yes, they are. We are moving into a phenomenal period of time in 2025 and 2026, and this is the beginning of all of this. And so hold on to your hat. We're in for a ride. So Debbie, I'm going to ask you to start with Aries for this month, and then I'll follow up with a card. Is that good for you?
Okay, that's great. Well, Aries, hello. This is November, starting with a bang, with a new moon on November the 1st. All of this Scorpio energy is in your financial zone of everything that you share with other people. It's not so much money that you earn by yourself, but where you get mixed up with other people's money, whether that's even your employer, your partner, your family, whatever. So shared resources. And the new moon means opportunities, offers. So be on the lookout for that. That's balanced in the middle of the month with the full moon, which is about what you want for yourself. Hey, ain't that the way? So it's like, what do they want versus what do I want? So it's about your skill set, your values versus how you can pool your resources with other people. Don't be in a hurry to make all decisions because at the end of the month, Mercury is doing its little retrograde dance and you'll have plenty of time to shuffle around the celestial paperwork. Colette, what do you say about that?
Oh, it's so good. And I love that because everybody's doomy and gloomy, and this is not a doomy, gloomy time. No. Even if results of things aren't what you wanted, you now still have a phenomenal opportunity to focus, like Aries, focus on the things that you want. It's kind of like, okay, they got that, but they wanted, what do I want? This is really the time to buckle down and say, if this is basically for everybody, but what is my choice? How do I want to behave? What is it that I have power and control over in my life right now?
So what really matters to me.
Right. And Serenity Out of Exile is the card that reminds us and reminds the Aries that when you slow down and you feel serene and you allow yourself that peace to know, this is what I can change. Is that serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So dive in with a serene heart and mind, knowing that, right now, focus is on the opportunities for you. That's put blinders on. Let go of the noise. Focus on that, and you'll be really pleased with the results. Now let's move to Taurus, right?
I like it. So, shall we move to Taurus, our next sign? And it's really exciting for you coming into Scorpio time, really, because it's all about relationships. Now, even if you think, Taurus, well, I don't have a relationship. You know what? The thing is, you do you. You have a relationship with yourself. You have a relationship with every single person you have exchanges with in the course of the day. So with the new moon here, someone can bring something new in, or there might be a new person. And then you have your very own full moon, the one and only, or singing or dancing Taurus full moon on the 15th, which lasts really until the 17th, when the sun opposes Uranus in your sign. And this is the breakthrough energy. Things are going to go with a bang. I know, Taurus, you don't like change. We have to call it the C word for you. But you know what? It's like a firework. You know, we have fireworks here on November the 5th, and you maybe have them for Thanksgiving. I don't know. But I mean, there's this sense that, you know, you've got to go with a bit of sparkle. It's okay to change things up. Go with what excites you and what inspires you. And on the 19th, Pluto is doing this massive 2-decade change onto your midheaven. And this is all about your purpose, bigger picture, 20 years of who do you want to be in the world? How do you want to show up? And that in itself is super exciting.
Oh, I love that. Isn't it? And that's the Pluto moving out of Capricorn finally and into Aquarius, right? So we're actually doing it, guys, right? It's actually
we're here.
Right? We're finally here. Are we there yet? Yes, we're there yet. So Taurus, focus on the brilliance, right? This is all about your focused attention, prioritizing what is it that sparkles for you? Figuring out what blisses you out, like knowing that there is a divine purpose to your being here. And you don't like change. Well, okay, but change can become comfortable for you, right? Remember that nobody in your particular, the sign that doesn't like leaving your comfort zone once you're in it. And neither do Cancers, by the way. But here we go, right? Now it's like, ooh, you know, I don't have to be fixed in this, right? The fixed sign. I can be, I can actually go, what do I really want? I really am going to realize, what do I love doing? The brilliance of those things that you know bliss you out, because that's going to show you what inspired, Spirit's giving you the inspiration to take the next step forward. And there's no rush. It doesn't have to be done in a day. It's not going to be done all in November, but it is a time for you to think. Okay. Now let's move to
Gemini, the twins. Well, the sun and the new moon are in your zone of grounding. So it's kind of like keep on keeping on, Gemini. You might go, oh, one big yawn. Who wants to do that when I'm a Gemini and I like dancing and doing all this stuff? Well, you can still do that. Do touch down once in a while. Keep those feet on the ground. Take care of yourself is really what it's saying. And the theme is, really through November, don't be scared to take a step back, breathe a bit, because even that full moon is saying, go into your sanctuary, let go, again, as Colette's just said, let go of noise, let go of stuff that's a bit superfluous. On the 21st, the sun moves into Sagittarius. It's Archer season, which brings the sun to the relationship angle of your chart. We love that. So someone's going to step forward, and you might be talking for quite a bit, because with Mercury going retrograde here, you're going to talk and talk and talk till midnight and beyond.
That's a Gemini. That's funny.
Just as well.
So here we go. So this is a really great card for the Gemini personality in November, because it's listening to the ancestors. But if you look here, I had painted these very grounded beings that are there to support you, right? And it's neither this or that. Both are true, right? That's the other thing to realize. The Gemini's a twin. So like this and that are true. I think is going to be very important for you to acknowledge and to stay grounded in some of the more traditional things that you already know. What do you already know? What is already true for you, right? This is, so in many respects, that's the ancestral patterns, not necessarily ancestors. It's what has already been, right? Say, this has really worked for me and it's still working for me. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel, Gemini, but you do need to take care of you and do it. Traditionally, when I nap and when I meditate twice a day, I feel better. When I do this, I feel better. When I do that, you already know what it is. I'm going to take a salt bath. I've done that before. It really made me feel good, right? That's the kind of thing that we have to think about. You don't have to go out necessarily and discover something brand new right now. For you need to listen to yourself, listening, as opposed to talking so much, except for that end part. There you go. Okay. Let's talk about
Cancerians. It's a return to the heart. We love that. And life itself, as the sun and the new moon are in Scorpio in your 5th house, which is all about what you care about, the people you love, the things you love to do. It's creativity, it's romantic, it's about the love of life, really. But the interesting thing is that until the 3rd of this month, I say that because I'm conscious of US time. Over here, it's the 4th. But we've had Mars in Cancer for quite a while, and it's going to be across the way from Pluto doing its final little spell in Capricorn. So the 3rd is interesting. Just take note of what happens around that time. Could be a bit of a crunch point, could be a time to take back your power. It's a bit like, okay, you know, again, put yourself in touch with your true desires. And it doesn't mean to say that everything has to break loose, but just know what it is that you want. On the 15th, well, that's quite a spontaneous full moon. Someone might surprise you with something really rather lovely, or how about you surprising someone else? Maybe new people. It's a great time to reach out. And November the 19th, oh my goodness, this is the day you've been waiting for, when Pluto vacates finally, that long visitor that's been there since 2008 in the relationship angle of your chart. So it's the end of a karmic cycle, really, end of a karmic cycle. So much to say. I'm not going to say too much. We just simply don't have time to explain it all. Come and have a session.
You can book a reading. You can book a reading with Debbie.
Yeah. I mean, it is a big shift, and you need to also review the last year since 2008 and all that's been going on to do with relationships and that power dynamic. Really fascinating. But anyway, Pluto's moving on to this new place now, which is about joint resources, investments, and going very deep. So you can have those deep and meaningful convos, which you do really like, Cancer.
Yes, we do. So here's for Cancers, it's frozen for a time, right? This ice being, non-action, slow down, not yet. So what I take this for Cancer, the Cancer personality is, if you're going to go deep, you need to slow down. You can't go on the surface. And if you're going to do a review of since 2008, you need to slow down to do that. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to get anything you want. It means that it's time to reassess, right? I'm actually doing that too. So it's an interesting thing that this is the card. And I'm like, that's exactly what I'm doing personally, because I'm a Cancer. But it's really the idea that you will remind yourself what it is that you genuinely want, because you are completed a cycle. What you did want, and you might have accomplished all these things already. Now it's a time for a brand new cycle. And that's a beautiful time for Cancerian. And you're right. What do you love? Who do you love? What do you love doing? Right? It is about love and compassion and care and sharing. Right? So that's really
absolutely gorgeous.
Right. Well, Leo, my goodness me, we've got Mars coming into your sign. So here we are. You're going to be full of fire. You are a fire sign. Mars is coming in with you. And from New Year 2025, it's going to go back again to Cancer, and then it's going to come back to you. It's doing this backwards, forwards. It's going to come back to you in the spring, mid-April to mid-June. So, you know, there's this whole feeling of something to accomplish. So don't be in a rush again to accomplish straight away. In December, it's going to retrograde in Leo. But just have a think about this. What is it that you want to go for? As this year turns, it's interesting, it's straddling this point and into 2025. What kind of old desires maybe you actually kind of like, don't really feel that's where it's at anymore? Because there could be a few of those exit stage left. And, you know, now you're ready to really just kind of streamline and focus. So I think that's very interesting. Good time of readjustment, a bit of a turning point on that full moon of the 15th. And of course, big news for you, Leo, Pluto arriving into your relationship zone for 20 years. I mean, no visitors stay that long, only the planets. And it's all about how you're relating, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's anything at all that's one-to-one, you know, can be your barista. It's literally you're having a chat exchange, right? But the thing to remember, how do you find your power? And Sagittarius season beginning on the 21st of this month. Well, that really is for letting the fun and games begin as the sun lights up house, which is splendiferous.
Check this out. In the midst of the radiant fire, right?
Ooh,
Leo,
yes.
right? It's about passion, inspiration, and it's a fire of cleansing, right?
Yes.
So burning away,
Mm.
right? Purification, exactly. But it's a spiritual purification too. It's kind of interesting. I always listen because, as you know, you guys, these readings go with your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon. Now, I happen to have 5 planets or 6 planets in fire in my chart. So fire 10, even though I'm a Cancer.
Feel the heat. I'm glad
Right?
I'm a few thousand
I
miles
made a
away.
whole bunch of mush right now. Steam, because I'm a Cancer. Right, exactly. So, but it's what's beautiful about this is that there is a level of a reckoning, if you will, but it doesn't feel negative. Like, a reckoning seems, sometimes people take that as a pejorative, like, oh, it's going to be something bad. No, it's like, I'm similar to, with Cancer, the 2008, but Leo is very much about, these can't come with me anymore. These old dreams of mine, they actually don't fit me. But even if the things you haven't accomplished that you wanted to, you've changed so much that you might want something else now. And it's okay. We don't manifest everything that we desire, but we become someone as a result of having a desire, right? You know what I mean? So this is about like, ooh, I get to retool. I get to kind of say, I'm going to purify and begin with a sense of self-generosity too, because Leo tends to be very giving out there, and grabbing your creativity and recognizing you are a powerful manifestor and co-creator. Like it's so crucial. Every sign needs to remember that you are a profoundly powerful co-creator. This is a time to go back to your manifestation concepts, learn new ones. This is all about that. And Leo, you're no different.
Absolutely. That's right. Now, Virgo, well, with Mars moving into this, should we call it like a backwater? Nothing wrong with a bit of backwater, especially if you're a Virgo, because you do quite like strategizing, analyzing, and this is really a time to work things out. So you've got full permission to do exactly that. Meanwhile, there will be a lot of news, information, exchanges, ideas. It is a time to talk because the sun is in the communication angle of your chart, whether that's on a social media platform, whether it's face-to-face. And there's a lot of changes in your perspective coming, actually, Virgo, because the full moon here is saying, never thought of that. It could be that sort of light bulb moment. Wow. So that's a good thing. And then, of course, we know with Mercury retrograde that this is the time to fix the details. So nothing you like better. It's going to be right up your street.
Yeah, isn't that great? And what is holy? What is true, right? That's the other thing. So this card, this was actually the being that had me do all the paintings with holy water. Anyway, appreciation, witnessing the unmerited gift of grace. Like you're okay doing what you know to be true for you, which is to analyze and to strategize and to kind of weigh the pros and cons. This is exactly what you should, and you have to trust that Spirit's got your back. That's what that card is. Like you are here as an emissary of the divine, like anyone else, but you particularly need to do things a very specific way. And what I love too is the epiphany that comes out of that at the end of the month is going to be worthwhile. First by doing what you know to do, and then readdressing that again in the retrograde period. So I think it's excellent for Virgos.
Very good.
Libra.
So Libra, the Scorpio sun and the new moon is in your money house. And this is about what you have and what you earn. It's also about who you are. The second house is kind of your talents and what you have innately within you. So the new moon here is saying it's time to really kind of believe in yourself and what you can put out into the world, who you really are. Pluto is also moving into your 5th house. Wow, aren't you the lucky one? This is about passion, creativity. I mean, it's going to take you to a more intense place, Libra, because sometimes you just like everything to be all sweetness and light on the surface. I'm not saying it's going sour and no sweetness and light. Of course there can be. It's going to be deeper. It's going to be a richer taste, all of that. So it's a time to open your heart. November the 19th, on for 20 years. But also towards the end of the month, a gorgeous little link here between Venus and Saturn, which is you receiving some kind of beautiful confirmation. It's about consistency. It's about, that, it works, whether it's a relationship, an idea, it's, the glue that comes and you're like, yay, that's going to last. That's going to work. So that's good.
Love it. They got the emergence of hope. So out of the darkness comes this beautiful sense of hope and trust in yourself and trusting in a divine plan. Spirit has a plan. All is well. Having the patience and recognizing that going deep is not scary, right? It doesn't. Pluto's not scary. Interestingly enough, Pluto in Aquarius is not scary, right? It's no, it's like,
just another layer,
and you'll feel so much better. Especially art, for example, you'll go deeper. It's more complex. It's fascinating. I think it's an amazing time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Scorpio, it's your month. The new moon kicks off November here on the 1st. A huge download of energy into your sign for a new cycle. Fabulous time to set intentions and for sort of rebranding yourself, really, in any which way, shape or form you choose. And Mars is also moving on to your midheaven, which is what I call the top spot on your chart, presiding over everything. Imagine Mars, that great warrior planet, the action planet. So you're going to be a go-getter, and this is an excellent time for you to put yourself out there in the world. The full moon, this is such an important full moon. I'd like you to think back to around about May the 8th, to be precise, even though I'm not a Virgo, when there was the new moon there in Taurus. This is the full moon in Taurus on the 15th of November, with that real extraordinary Uranian factor to it. So it's all about, what do you want to bring in? Relationships could kind of change tack or shake up, and new people in and new ideas, new things. You've got to be very open. You've got to be flexible. It's certainly going to be very heartfelt. And Pluto moving into your 4th house, which is all about home, family, or personal life. Of course, you might be moving the furniture around, but I think it's a bit more than that. It's
I love that
transformation, which of course you love, and you're no stranger to wanting to do that.
And yay for Scorpios, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, self-care, peace of mind, fulfillment. So it's like that kind of culmination of all the things that you've put in motion since that May 8th, right? The creative projects, etc., and owning your power in a way that is without force, right? It's a kind of a sense of yourself that's not forceful. It's a empowered, a quiet empowerment of I am stepping in. It's really great. This is a wonderful month for Scorpios.
It's a good one. Okay, well, Sagittarius, you've got Mercury, the winged messenger of the gods, flying into your sign on the 2nd of November. Obviously, he's going to go retrograde. He's going to be darting around a bit in your sign from the 26th. So this is all about ideas that come. Maybe they have a bit of a, reshuffle, but that's okay. You've also got Venus, the goddess of love, in your sign until the 11th of November, and Pluto moving into the communication angle of your chart. Now, I really like this because it's a kind of fascination for you. Sometimes you're firing off those arrows with the scattergun technique. This is about a real sense of being almost like obsessed to research, to explore. You want to learn. This is all about the stories that you're going to have to tell. It's going to be really interesting.
Oh, I love that. And it's also a time of knowing, of deep knowing. So this is the emergence of true knowing. It's like getting to that place where you have so much clarity, so much clarity about, who you are. It's a really good time to act, like Sagittarius, rigorous honesty, right? They're looking for the higher truth. So this is that discovery of a higher truth that makes sense to you in your life, for you and for others you touch. So I think that, this concept of I am learning to trust myself, I think is really, really key right now too for Sagittarius for the month of November.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Capricorn, ta-da, 19, Pluto takes his leave and you're sweeping him out of the door. So again, do you do a bit of self-reflection here about everything that's come to pass since 2008. It's been an enormous time of personal transformation, but really, what does that mean? It's about finding your truth. Yes, sometimes you may have been put to the test, but, you know, that's about you and the mountain climb, isn't it? You know, you don't necessarily feel that the way you want to learn is just along that easy road. You know, you want to slog it up the mountain, so you've really got something to show for it. And you have. Wow, what a view you're getting now. So it is a rebirth. It's amazing. Before we get to the 19th, both Venus and Mars are going to make contact with Pluto in your sign. And we know about Venus and Mars, those twin planets of love and desire. So anyway, Venus also then moves into your sign, Capricorn, on the 11th. And you get a real ding ding, the cosmic bell, on the full moon of the 15th. A bit of a wake-up call about how you feel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And this is about being enough, right? Looking at enoughness, enough for now and always. You are enough. You have to have faith that your needs will be met, but also that you are enough, that you have and are everything that you need in the moment. And that's something, the wake-up call is not about how much ambition I have to move forward. It's more like, I already have everything. What do I make of it? Right.
Yeah.
So what can I make of this? You know, and call in what I need. So it's about your needs are always met, and that there is no scarcity for you, right? That's the other thing, you know, that there's no hole in the donut. Look at the donut. I mean, there is a hole, but don't look at the hole.
Well, Aquarius, the water bearers, you've had little tasters, like little cosmic previews and trailers of having Pluto just sort of step into your sign and then run away again. Well, anyway, he's coming back in on the 19th of November for 20 years. And this is sort of 2 decades of extraordinary personal growth. That is the best way to look at it. It's about awareness. It's about understanding. Yes, there are going to be life changes. It's going to be a lot of inner changes. It doesn't necessarily always show up on the outside. It's a bit like an internal transformation. So kind of, you know, very fascinating time. You are going to alter the way that you kind of engage with the world beyond all recognition, and how you put yourself out into the world. So November starts off with that new moon on your midheaven, which is a bit like, you know, kind of the alarm bell going, hey, November is the month. Just sort of like put yourself together, have a think about what you want to do. And the full moon on the 15th, the time to sort of rebalance. It's so close to Uranus, your ruling planet. So don't get yourself frazzled, you know, try and get yourself into that place where you can receive these energies, you can hold these energies, and you can express these energies. And with Sagittarius season on the 21st, this is about networks, friends, it's the group, it's gatherings. Well, you love that. You love bringing people together. So definitely a chance to be all in on that front.
Yeah. You know what I love about this too? So, you know, the true source of power is the card that I picked, but this one was stuck to it. So the epiphanies sing at dawn, right? So what is my power? What is not my power? But so when you say a big personal growth transformation, we know, because I've been through Pluto transit, that it's not an easy thing, right? To transform. That's why you have to trust that the power greater than you is doing this for your highest good. You're not getting punished. If you're being invited, this is about you being able to fulfill your destiny, Aquarius. This is not about, you know, it's going to be a really big personal growth, right? Because the minute we say that, they're like,
no, it's happening for you, not
for
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So new directions and potential, because the 2 cards came for you, and I tried to put it back, and then I picked another card. And it was the same one. So I thought, okay, we're supposed to read all cards for Aquarius. So trust the process, trust it. You have so much to offer, and any kind of shadow content is going to be illuminated, but it will be dissolved. The more you focus on your relationship to your higher power, the more the shadow dissolves, right? Yeah. Organically. You don't have to go at it with a tractor. You know what I mean?
Like you just switch the light on in yourself, and that dispels the dark.
Yeah, it really does. So there's not as much work at this than you think there is. Last but not least, let's talk about Pisces.
Pisces. Well, this is all about adventure and learning, as the new moon, the sun in Scorpio are in your 9th house. Yes, there could be travel or trips to be planned, but it's very much about, you know, being hungry for something, for some new experience, for some new teaching, you know, for some stimulation at the very least. And I think what's interesting about the full moon, which happens on the 15th, yes, your attention might be drawn to whatever that Uranian surprising energy is that's around. You know, sometimes it's like, oh, the doorbell rings, you drop everything, you go there. But actually, the really important thing about that day is that Saturn is going to go direct, and it's been in retrograde in your sign since the end of June. So this is your chance to really get on with things. And, you know, I like that Saturn moving forwards. It just makes you feel steadier. You know, it's putting one foot in front of the other. You're feeling productive and proactive. And at the same time, the sun, of course, is going to move into Sagittarius. That's on from the 21st on the midheaven, the overhead lighting. And, you know, that is all about you kind of knowing where you want to go in the world. That might be quite literal. You're planning this journey, but also, you know, what really matters to me, you know, what pathways do I wish to explore in the coming weeks? Right.
You know, and the oracles gives you grace within the chaos. Grace within chaos. So reminding you not to be distracted by the outer world. And all of us need to know we can't wait till the outer world behaves to decide what we want to do with our lives, right? We can't. We can't wait for that. And particularly for Pisces, you know, the both and, because it's the fishes going in the two different directions. We have this kind of quality of both and, but really to accept the complexity of your life too, right? There's a complexity there, and requiring you to just leave the space for the downloads, right? And realize that nothing is black or white. That's the other thing. It's not this or that. It's all of it. And to really kind of allow yourself to dive into those complexities, because you are that sign that is in that beautiful change right now, and maybe kind of flailing around at the same time because you haven't been that grounded, right? So now it really is about being grounded and go, I accept all of this. And then immediately what happens is you become in the center, no matter what's going on outside of you. You have the grace to make the kind of decisions that you need to know. So I highly recommend getting a reading with Debbie Frank and getting on the list. I don't know if your wait list is long yet. I think you kind of stopped taking clients.
It gets busy towards the end of the year. So sooner the better.
Yeah, look up, guys.
Yeah. Otherwise,
you will be back for the December reading as well. So you will see Debbie again.
Lovely. Such fun with you, Colette. It's great.
And everybody loves it. All right. Okay, everybody. Guides of the Hidden Realms, my latest deck.
Great month.
Take care. Bye.